embroidered Ikea floor mats. Fuck, why do you keep calling them floor mats? Today we are making these embroidered Ikea doormats. So for $1.99 and some yarn, you've got yourself a craft. Supplies you're gonna need are one Borris doormat, a yarn needle and some yarn, preferably a bright color so it sticks out on the mat, scissors, a marker, paper, and a ruler. Quick side note, guys, Jones has not agreed to the contractual terms for DIYDQ quickies, so as a replacement we will be having Nugget Hughes, and his costume is some pink yarn. You gotta do what you can, people. Okay, so I found this craft on Pinterest, and when I clicked through I realized it was an Ikea mat, and the directions for this craft were just as confusing and terrifying as anything else you'd buy at Ikea. So these are my directions. Number 1, pick a phrase. The shorter the better. Trust me, that could be your phrase. Number 2, use your ruler, and on your piece of paper, you are going to make a graph with little squares that are 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. And you want there to be 25 squares. 5 tall and 5 wide. Oh, it's just Nugget eating. He hears himself. Number 3, you're gonna take another piece of paper, put it over your graph, and with a pen, you are going to make your letters. For example, we make a J. We do 2 across, 2 down, okay, maybe 3 down, 1 over, 1 up. See what I'm doing here? Oh God. Okay, so here's my J. That's one of my letters. So whatever your phrase is gonna be, get your letters done, make sure they all line up and make sense, and then you're going to cut them out. One key thing to remember is that you want your phrase to be backwards, because you're gonna sew it on the back and flip it over to the front. I made this mistake a lot, so just listen to what I say. I'm right. You're gonna take your marker and you are going to mark off where those little squares were. This is gonna help you when you're stitching with your needle to know exactly where to pull the needle in and out. I promise it sounds tedious, but if you're watching The Voice, nothing's tedious. Right, so you can barely see it, but if it helps you to do this, which it helped me because I'm a child, I made X's where the X's will be on the front of the mat. There is absolutely no way I can mess this up. I will regret saying that. Now you want to take your yarn needle and weave in some yarn, probably about 1.5 feet or 2 feet, and then you're going to make a big knot at the end. If you make your yarn too long, it's going to tangle up and knot itself before you can even thread it. So make sure it's not too long. You see that knot? That's the kind of knot you want. And this is going to take some brute strength, but what you're going to do is from the back, starting from one of the corners of your letter, you are going to push this needle through, because it's kind of tough to get through this rubber material. Once you get the hang of it though, it's not as bad as it sounds. And right where there's a dot, I am going to guess from the front where I'm going to sew it back in. Once you really start going, it gets really easy because you really memorize how big this square is. Once you've done all of your letters, you are going to have extra thread. You're going to cut that thread down, and you're going to weave it behind some pre-established pieces so that you can tie it off and it will not come out. And then you keep going until your message is complete. We hope you guys like that craft. This is my assistant Nugget. Nugget, you did a really good job for your first video. week I will have a new DIY Dammit quickie up for you. And if you have any ideas, please let me know below in the comments. And like this video and subscribe. And y'all come back now. You nugget?